Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 11th of December. So, the first things first, let's have a quick look through the news events that are coming out, possible impact on the markets today. Well, where are we? Wednesday. So we've got the key thing this afternoon is the US inflation data. I was just checking actually, the swap rate's already suggesting a 0.25% cut at the next meeting. Well, I also checked the Fed Watch, and that's showing around about the same percentage of a change. So about a 0.25% cut is what's now that's priced into the market. So that's there. Anyway, this any higher inflation could give that a bit of a shake, or lower inflation. Well, I don't think it's going to make much difference because I don't think they'll cut any quicker because growth has been looking reasonably steady. Aside that, we've got the Bank of Canada's rate statement coming out, overnight rate. It should actually rate the overnight rate, then the statement, not the statement are together, and the conference this afternoon. So watch out for the bank, any Canadian dollar trades, cross pairs or whatever on Canada. Okay, it has been looking weak, and I think they're expecting a 0.5% cut there expected. So be prepared if they do anything more or say anything less or do anything less. That's pretty much it for today. Other news, I was just having a flick through the sort of news going on there. China is doing their best to suggest they'll weaken the yuan a little of their currency. That is, if you're not familiar with it. Next year during 2025, or allow it to weaken, I should say. And it's already started weakening. Elsewhere, Russia's been attacking territory near a nuclear plant, etc. And that's the geopolitical aspects of that is affecting the markets. So let's get on and look at the technicals. And we can now see the euro properly coming off from having hit the underside of its monthly pivot there. This to me now the shape of this is looking much better for the downside opportunities when they come, if we can get hold of one of them, of course. Sometimes you wait so long, but well, this has gone this morning for now anyway. Now it's all gone on one bar, and I'm always a bit suspicious that you get into the next bar and most of it comes back again, but there is solid reason, and the state of the European zone is not great either, is it? So I'm not shocked to see this coming off this morning. Can I get into it right now? No, well, I wouldn't want to at these levels, so I'll leave that one. The pound dollar, this is starting to show a little bit of weakness. Yesterday it held up really well there, and is quite stubborn. Again, we haven't quite broken through my trend line yet here, and it could hold. We'll see what it does post 8 o'clock, but even if it comes down, it's certainly not moving at the rate some of these other markets are. It's proving intransigent. Yes, it's come off on the hourlies here, but well, we could of course just see a continuation running into the next hour as the news is digested. But if any news that's out is out, we'll see what happens from here. US dollar yen. Now, I was looking at this a short while ago. We've seen it now. The yen, when there's risk on or risk off, risk off at the moment maybe we're seeing a bit of movement so far on that. It's to the underside of its monthly pivot. It looks like a nice bear flag, but it's just a case of patience here. Now, patience for me might have to be, and this is a bit flat, and I don't really like this one so much, but it could be an add-in point, but it might be as low as that. But realistically, I'd like to see it below its 4-hourly 50 and 34. There's some sort of more aggressive points where you might look for shorting it if you was that keen. Below its 50 here, but we'd need to see something a little bit more with it. it might be just a wee blip as we go into the pivot there, a bit of a reaction. We'll watch that though, but there is the potential in the trend line on here. You can see the same sort of point which I've just drawn on that 4-hourly chart. There's quite a bit that price has to do first to confirm it, but when you look at this time frame you think, well, okay, I can allow it to do that because it's got quite a bit more to go if it does start rolling. Right, or potentially anyway, not necessarily. Aussie remaining weak today. It's comments etc. yesterday were not particularly great, and we're seeing it continue to rock and roll. It has moved quite a way here at the moment. Hasn't hit the daily pivot, so the S2 could come into play a bit easier. We'll see what it does post 8 o'clock. If that starts breaking down, it could be an intraday move there off the lower time frames. See what happens. US dollar CAD. Now we've got news on this today, so we've got to be a bit careful, but it's continued to weaken over the last couple of days, and a break of the highs here could see even a further shove. But as I say, we've got news. Not a lot of point doing too much analysis on it because it could go one way or the other big time. New Zealand dollar, very similar to the Australian dollar, selling off more. Now I keep on flicking back to this because it's so important. Now we're properly going down here. Maybe it'll give us a target. Even a more modest target would be seeing the S2 levels here on the yearly pivot. So that could be, it might be a bit of a higher hope, bearing in mind it spent most of the year in the range there. But there's still some big old moves at times, and we could see that rolling further. It does look soft at the moment. It's getting into this. It hasn't hit the pivot again, makes the S2 more likely. It's getting an entry. It's not a clear entry there. Just aside. US dollar Swissy. Got no data here. Okay. For some reason it's not letting me see the data. So moving on. Euro yen. Euro yen was doing okay yesterday. Today though it's coming off here. You can see the flaggy pattern that's sitting here. Just wait and see if the yen actually does strengthen. If it strengthens out there, we could see some opportunities across these markets. A lot of these seeing a bit of a move today. I've just put that in the wrong place slightly, but you can see the price is pretty close to it. It'll be on it, but maybe later. Again, preference is below the 50, etc., but not essential. I would like to see the yen strengthen. Okay, but not an immediate entry. This is a trade we're in at the moment with euro pound. Don't very often get into this, but it did break down yesterday. I was waiting to see if it broke down. So this was simply and is a simple go with. Now that second red line isn't my target, by the way. We will be shifting stops on this at some point because I'm just managing. I didn't have a specific target, so I'm just using these channels. These are quite good for tracking the stop. I'll leave it a little bit maybe above the channel at the moment. This has some really funny old spikes. I want to make sure it's got at least a 20 pip move between it. It probably has there, but what I don't want to do is just get caught out on one of these little spikes that come up there, then it continues back off again. So I'm watching it carefully. There's no news that should affect the pound nor the euro at the moment until later in the week. Anyway, we'll see how that does. But for entries at the moment, there just isn't one. It's a funny old one when it does set up. You've got to take advantage of it, otherwise you miss it for ages. But looking to basically track this quite a bit further if we can. We'll see where it will go. But it's pretty close to taking out the previous lows there from 2022. So there is potential. You've got to really come right out to the monthlies to see it a bit more. There we go. There's the potential. we're still sitting around these lows here. We can continue breaking through, and this is the major one, as I say, of March 2022. If we can break through that, we could see a further correction or continued correction. Right. Who's the? Sorry, I'm just looking for where the rest of the pivots were there. Not clear. Right. Okay. Oops, wrong one. So that's something we're in. Can't do a lot about that now. Or I don't want to be as. There's not really an add. We could potentially add if it breaks those next lows, but or just if it gets to a certain point in terms of points, you could be looking to add depending on your style there. Euro Aussie, I don't know why I'm looking at these at the moment, but there is scope that we could break out of these ranges. Likewise, we could just as easy. I mean, we found last time we got up pretty close to here, it rolled over. That was on Monday, so we'll see if this time it takes a break. It'll be safer to wait for the break and retest and run through. Okay, I'm not going to get run through the rest of the currencies in the. Let's just have a look at the pound Aussie, because this was. Yeah, the pound Aussie's flying along here. It's a bit spiky this morning, but it's continuing to push out. This is sort of leading the charge effectively. Anyway, enough of this for now. Let's just have a quick look at the other markets I do for you guys online. Quick look at gold. Gold continued its ride yesterday. It with the geopolitical side of things, it's got scope for further growth. It's in a bit of a weird old price action. Let me just come back to the dailies there. So you've pulled back, you pushed up. It could be going for a higher low. That then takes it into the world of Gartley patterns. Just be wary. It might go through. If it breaks through, it becomes a butterfly. If it stays down. Bit short, a bit of an 886 or something like that retracement from where it is at the moment. That could again could just see weakness coming back into it, but for now it looks positive, and I wouldn't be looking to sell against it necessarily. I was just looking at it yesterday. It went out quite nicely from the range we were looking at. Okay, that's gold. Oil is up this morning, he says. There we go. It's back up. It's a real mess, oil, at the moment. I'm not finding anything really to do on it. I'm not sure where it's going, and I've just left it. If in doubt, stay out, eh? Right, shall leave that for now. The S&Ps, they're off a fraction this morning. Just seeing a bit of a retrace. We could see this coming off. It's unusual. We normally get a bit of a Santa Claus rally, but it doesn't mean to say it won't pull back before the sort of week before Christmas, and we tend to see it a little bit more at that stage. So we could be. I mean, it'd be quite nice if it just came back to its monthly pivot there and found a bit of support and gave us a little signal for the upside. But at the moment, this is, looking at this price action, lower highs, lower lows, it's definitely looking weak. Weak on the shorter term frames, intermediate time frames, marginal, upper time frames, majorly bullish. Okay, other markets, the FTSE's just not done as well as the other markets. When I say the other markets, the DAX and the CAC, we're seeing this coming off solidly yesterday. DAX, on the other hand, well, did stabilise yesterday, but look at it, it's around about its all-time highs, sitting up there, staying there much more solidly for now, at least. Okay, that's pretty much me done this morning. I will catch you tomorrow. If listening on YouTube here, just a reminder, if you want free education, etc., you can get so. Just have a scroll down below the video, and you'll see a link in terms of free education where you can join the trading room as well with that and everything else completely free. And there's a way of doing it. So from my sponsor, right? And I'll leave you there. Take care. Have a good day.